Hi, my name is Paul, and I have multiple myeloma. I'm currently in Taiwan, a place called Taochuan. Sorry to say, last year in February, some little boy in class asked me to pick him up, and I did, and I hurt my back. Oh boy, that really hurt. I didn't do much about it. I just thought, well, I just sprained my back a little bit. And after that, I noticed when my wife and I were mountain climbing, she'd be way up ahead of me, and I'd be huffing and puffing behind. So they would go anemia. So I went to a hospital in Zhanghua, and they misdiagnosed me. I went to see a neurosurgeon. He said, "Oh, you got nothing. It's just a little thing that old men get, and that old men suffer from when they get old, and they have about 2 months and it goes away." Well, that wasn't true. After all the rehab and everything, it really hurt me a lot. And so we ended up going to another city called Taichung and had this thing properly diagnosed. And finds out through a bone scan, it showed that I had bone cancer. All the bones were black on the ribs, vertebrae, some joints, and the hips. And he said, "You got, probably cancer." And I was kind of shocked. What kind of cancer? I looked at the blood levels, and I found I had multiple myeloma. They do the CGG and CGA and CGI levels, and they were very, very, very high. Yeah, I'm going to try to put this camera here so it doesn't shut down. The sun interferes with it. So following that, they put me on Velcade. Velcade, dexamethasone, and thalidomide. Made me a zombie for about 3 months. November comes around, I get the stem cell. I was in here for about 3 weeks. It was a horrible nightmare. Rash all over my body, like pimples, like a chicken pox. Sore mouth, sore throat. It was just terrible. I couldn't eat for a few days. After I get out of that terrible experience, I went home and I was very tired. I was always tired. I still am, but today I'm out, climbing. But I've been on morphine for about, I had been on morphine for about a year. And it was very addicting. I quit cold turkey about 2 weeks ago, and now I'm on the upswing again. And here I am, climbing up a mountain. It's hot, it's slow going, it's very hot, but I'm doing it. Let me check to see if this thing is still working. Okay, everything seems good. Just gonna check that, because sometimes the sun interferes with this thing and just shuts the camera off. Alright, so now, this is my point. I'm a patient, multiple myeloma. It's not curable. I don't care what they tell you, it's not curable. They're always going to give you the three chemo drugs to keep you going. Doctor says you keep me for 20 years. Well, no, I don't want to live 20 years like that, going every 2 weeks for needles, blood tests once a month. No, I don't want it. It's not worth it. I don't have children anyway. So, what I advocate is the exit program, the right to die, and euthanasia. I think every government in the world should respect a human being's right to die, especially if they're suffering from an incurable disease such as I have, multiple myeloma. I think it's very painful, it's very terrible. It's your life is never the same again. I don't care what they say, what they tell you. Maybe some people say, yeah, I feel normal, I'm doing this, I'm conquering mountains. Well, some of us just aren't doing it. There are more aggressive forms of multiple myeloma than others. Some people have multiple myeloma and they're on their feet in a month and they don't have any relapses. Case in point, if I have a relapse, I want to make that choice. Do I want to keep on living and being, punctured with needles and blood sucked out of me all the time? No. Do I want to go through more suffering? No. I want it to be my right to die. But unfortunately, the governments take all the drugs off the market that allows us to do so. So we have to go in to the internet and we need to find material, and I'm not going to mention it, but well, for instance, the Final Exit program is a good source for material, and I found that some of the stuff I could get here in Taiwan, so I am stocking up on it, and I'm going to use that if I have a relapse, and I'm going to put myself out. But I want that same right given to everybody around the world. These governments, these chemicals, these pharmaceutical companies that push on you, they lobby against governments, they lobby against euthanasia laws, they lobby against right to die movements, just so they can keep pumping you with their expensive chemicals. And a lot of us can't even afford it, especially me. So I'm going to die, and no government's going to stop me from doing it. But the thing is, nobody blames my family. Because my family has nothing to do with this. My wife, nobody. This will be done by me, my hand. By my own hands. And I will do it where and when. And how. Because it's my right. It's my right as a human to take my own life. And I think it's a right to take my own life, but I also think it should be a right of a physician to have passion and mercy on those who suffer from this disease and give us the drug we need, and for governments to stop taking the drug away from us. I think that's the point. I think I'd like to be able to go to the store with with information I have the cancer from the hospital and say, I would like this drug, or have a doctor prescribe it to me. Because I don't want to live anymore with this disease. It's horrible. I think that should be my right. And I advocate euthanasia and exit for everybody all over the world. They deserve it. People are suffering and suffering and suffering. They want to die. They just want to leave. They want an early exit. They don't want to go through this living in a wheelchair and just living in a bed for 9 months and suffering a slow euthanasia by morphine. They don't want that. People want to go like that. They want to go to sleep, dream, go into a coma, heart shuts down, peaceful death. That's what Nembutal gives to us. But the governments around the world, they got to kowtow to pharmaceutical companies, and they take it off the market so they can sell their other poison on us. What probably gave me cancer in the first place. And it's just terrible. So you take all these other drugs, what do they do? Nothing. They make me feel like a zombie. That's all I got to say. It's my choice, and when I'm ready to die, I will die. I am a patient, a multiple hospital, and my disease is multiple myeloma, bone cancer, and it's incurable. And I know my death is coming soon, but I don't want to suffer. Thank you for listening. Yeah, there's some more scenes of where I am. I'm on a big crack here. This thing could slip any time, and I could be, well, maybe that's why I'm standing here, hoping that maybe mercy will come and just slide off the cliff. Let me get my tissue over there. Nice here. You see lots of weird snakes and lots of weird creatures and plants and etc. A lot of nice things up here. It's very quiet, peaceful. Every now you see some farmers. This is a subtropical climate. It's subtropical. We're right in a subtropical conversion zone. So south of the island is actually tropical most of the time. Northern part is subtropical. It gets very cold, not too cold, 10, 12 in the winter time, and here it gets down to around 14. But we get about 6 months. We get about 6 months to about 6 months of just boiling hot. It's very hot. It's always over 90 degrees. So it's difficult going to sleep here if you don't have air conditioning, even with a fan blowing on you. But it gets cool by 4 in the morning and then heats up when the sun comes up. As soon as the sun comes up, you can hear the metal roofs cracking and creaking and stretching and contracting. It's just making a lot of noise. Boom, 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 boom. A lot of the roofs, especially the ones made out of metal. As soon as that sun hits, it absorbs all the energy from it, the material. It gets very hot. So by 7, it's already hot. Well, thank you for listening. I appreciate it. I wish you all goodbye. Have a nice life. Bye-bye.